Do you ever wonder how the world could change if the US dollar lost its grip on the global economy? What would it mean for international trade, economic sanctions, and even the balance of power? Right now, a silent tug-of-war is playing out between the United States and BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Their goal? To reduce reliance on the US dollar and create an independent financial system. But Washington isn't taking this lightly. This unfolding drama holds implications for every country, every business, and every person connected to global trade. The stakes are enormous, and the battle for financial autonomy might reshape the global economic order. Let's dig into what's happening, how we got here, and why the US is pushing back so hard. Chapter 1. The dollar's global dominance. The US dollar has reigned supreme since World War II, functioning as the world's reserve currency. Nearly 90% of international trade is conducted in dollars, granting the United States unparalleled financial power through mechanisms like the SWIFT network and institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The US has not just dominated global finance, but also leveraged this dominance for geopolitical influence. Economic sanctions are a prime example. When the US imposed sanctions on Iran, it essentially froze Iran out of international trade by cutting off access to dollar transactions. Similarly, in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the US and its allies froze assets belonging to Russian financial institutions, including VTB Bank, which controls nearly a tenth of Russia's banking sector. The sanctions restricted Russia's ability to transact in dollars, sending shockwaves through its economy. This dominance, however, isn't without controversy. Many countries, particularly BRICS nations, view the US dollar's dominance as a tool of Western control and are working to challenge it. Chapter 2. BRICS push for financial autonomy. Over the past decade, BRICS nations have intensified their efforts to establish an alternative financial framework. Their motivations range from practical to ideological. Countries like Russia and China have long expressed dissatisfaction with the dollar's outsized influence, arguing that it leaves them vulnerable to Western economic sanctions. Russia, for example, has been particularly vocal, following sanctions imposed after its actions in Crimea and Ukraine. Moscow began exploring ways to shield itself from similar risks in the future. This includes creating independent payment systems and conducting trade in local currencies. China has developed its own payment system, the cross-border interbank payment system. As an alternative to SWIFT, by promoting transactions in yuan, Beijing aims to reduce dependence on the dollar. In August 2023, BRICS countries made headlines by discussing plans for a unified currency. And at the 16th BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia, in October 2024, Moscow proposed BRICS Clear, a centralized clearing system using distributed ledger technology to process transactions securely and independently. Chapter 3. What is BRICS Clear and why does it matter? BRICS Clear is envisioned as a revolutionary financial infrastructure. By using DLT, similar to blockchain technology, it would provide a decentralized, transparent, and secure platform for cross-border transactions. Unlike traditional systems such as SWIFT, BRICS Clear aims to reduce reliance on Western platforms like Euroclear. Russia's finance minister Anton Siluanov has championed the idea, emphasizing that it could mitigate risks posed by Western sanctions. Alongside this, BRICS nations are working on complementary systems like BRICS Pay, a blockchain-based payment platform for transactions in national currencies, and BRICS Bridge, which would enable direct financial exchanges among member countries. These initiatives reflect a broader ambition to create a multipolar world order where no single currency or country holds disproportionate sway over global finance. Chapter 4. Trump's tariff threats. As BRICS nations push forward, Washington has responded with alarm. Over the weekend, President-elect Donald Trump issued a stark warning via Twitter, threatening tariffs on BRICS countries if they continued their de-dollarization efforts. His comments sent shockwaves through global markets. The reaction was immediate. The US dollar index, a measure of the dollar's strength against a basket of currencies, surged to 106.70, breaking significant resistance levels. The move signaled investors' faith in the greenback. Even as global uncertainties loomed, Trump's stance underscores the U.S. fear that a successful BRICS payment system could undermine the dollar's role in global trade. For a country whose economy is deeply tied to the dollar's dominance, this would be a significant blow. Chapter 5. Political unrest in Europe adds fuel to the dollar's rally. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, political instability in France further strengthened the dollar. On Monday, French Prime Minister Michel Barnier invoked Article 49.3 to bypass Parliament and push through his social security bill. The move triggered calls for a no-confidence vote from both left and right-wing parties, led by Mathilde Panot and Marine Le Pen. If the French government falls, it could have ripple effects across Europe. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is already facing political challenges ahead of the 2025 elections, and any instability in France could amplify investor concerns about the Eurozone's future. These developments prompted investors to pull money from European markets and park it in the relative safety of the US dollar, further fueling its rally. Chapter 6. The manufacturing sector's surprise rebound. Adding to the dollar's momentum was unexpected positive data from the U.S. manufacturing sector. The Institute for Supply Management reported a rise in its November manufacturing PMI to 48.4, up from October's 46.5 and beating forecasts of 47.5. The Prices Paid Index, a key measure of inflation, also dropped to 50.3 from 54.8, signaling easing price pressures. These numbers suggest a slight recovery in U.S. manufacturing, bolstering optimism about the economy's resilience. This Goldilocks scenario, a mix of improving growth and controlled inflation, gave investors another reason to favor the dollar. Chapter 7. The Fed's role in shaping the dollar's future. Market watchers are now looking to the Federal Reserve for clues about the dollar's trajectory. On December 18th, the Fed is widely expected to cut rates by 25 basis points, with the CME FedWatch tool assigning a 67.1% probability to this scenario. Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller and New York Fed President John Williams are also scheduled to speak about the economic outlook, adding another layer of intrigue. While a rate cut might typically weaken the dollar, ongoing global uncertainties could keep demand for the greenback strong. Chapter 8. What's at stake for the U.S. and the world? The U.S. dollar is more than just a currency. It's a cornerstone of the current global financial system. If BRICS nations succeed in creating an independent payment system, the implications could be profound. For the U.S., losing its exorbitant privilege as the issuer of the world's reserve currency would mean reduced leverage in imposing sanctions and managing its national debt. For the rest of the world, a successful BRICS system could offer a viable alternative, particularly for nations wary of Western dominance. However, challenges remain. Integrating new financial systems across diverse economies is a complex task. Regulatory, technical, and legal hurdles could delay full implementation. Even so, partial adoption of BRICS Clear or similar systems could increase intra-BRICS trade by 5 to 7% annually, signaling a shift toward a more decentralized global economy. Chapter 9. What does BRICS Pay hope to achieve? Today, we begin building a new, fair, and decentralized financial system for the future. That's the ambitious promise on the BRICS Pay website. This newly launched platform aims to create a global payment system that operates outside the dominance of the US dollar and the widely used SWIFT network. BRICS Pay's mission is bold: to provide a modern, digital financial network that connects banks and facilitates cross-border payments using national currencies instead of dollars. It includes features like an online wallet for citizens and businesses in BRICS countries, making global transactions possible without relying on the greenback. Russia, largely excluded from SWIFT, sees BRICS Pay as a way to bypass the restrictions. A press release even highlighted an early goal, allowing foreigners to use Visa and MasterCard in Russia via BRICS Pay. But it's not just about Russia. Other BRICS nations, like China, have long criticized the dollar's dominance. Beijing has called it the main source of instability and uncertainty in the world economy. This dissatisfaction underpins the larger movement to de-dollarize global trade. Since its founding in 2009, BRICS has expanded into BRICS Plus. New members include Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the UAE, with Saudi Arabia on the invite list. The group now represents over a third of the world's landmass, nearly a quarter of global exports, and 45% of the world's population. Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Malaysia have also expressed interest in joining. Chapter 10. What's the goal? Trump has threatened to impose a 100% tariff on countries that either create a new BRICS currency or back any other currency meant to rival the US dollar. His message was crystal clear: mess with the dollar and say goodbye to the wonderful US economy. However, the idea of a completely new BRICS currency seems far-fetched for now. Analysts at Capital Economics and the Atlantic Council agree that a BRICS currency isn't a realistic challenger to the dollar, at least in the short to medium term. In fact, the dollar's dominance as the world's primary reserve currency remains secure, according to current models. In the past, Trump has used similar tariff threats to push negotiations. For example, he successfully pressured Mexico and Canada by proposing steep tariffs to address issues like illegal immigration and drug trafficking. These threats led to quick talks, including a call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and a meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But here's the thing: this time, Trump is targeting a much larger and more complex group of nations. Whether he can pull off the same diplomatic maneuver remains to be seen. As economist Douglas Holtz-Eakin pointed out, it's unclear what Trump considers a satisfactory commitment, or even how these tariffs would legally be enforced. For now, Trump's words are more bark than bite, but as we've seen before, his unconventional tactics often spark action. Chapter 11. The Road Ahead. As discussions among BRICS central bank officials continue into December 2024, the world watches with bated breath. Will the US dollar maintain its dominance? Or are we witnessing the birth of a new financial order? While complete de-dollarization may still be a distant goal, the momentum behind BRICS initiatives cannot be ignored. Advances in technology, particularly DLT, provide the tools needed to build resilient, independent systems. The question now is whether BRICS nations can overcome the obstacles ahead and realize their vision of a multipolar financial world. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into global events shaping our world. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and join the conversation.